Hello everybody, Manithral here, and welcome to the weekly update video for OSRS. Now this week we have the Easter 2026 and the PvP quality of life improvements. PvP quality of life is a little different than I was expecting. However, the Trip Hammer, these are the known cold fixes this week. The Trip Hammer is broken at Giant's Foundry, cold fixed, attempting to cut a tree at canoe station results in failure, and walking back and forth animation appears, cold fixed. Some NPCs aren't respecting their aggression range, leading to safe spots breaking, or NPCs wandering outside of their intended boundaries, cold fixed. However, we do have quite a bit going on here. Mostly it looks like, well, PvP improvements. But Easter event is going on, so you can chat with the Easter Bunny located south of the entrance of the Grand Exchange to start the egg hunt. So do check that out. Get your festivities on. There is PvP quality of life like we discussed. So up first we have Last Man Standing. So has had some gear adjustments to bring the gear more in line with the current meta. So we can check the updated items further down in the blog, so we'll check that out here in a little bit. Well, actually, we'll check it as soon as we're done with the Last Man Standing one. You can no longer lose your skull by entering Last Man Standing game lobby, logging out, and hopping world while inside the lobby. You can now hold up to 3 Ceradomin brews, but only 10 sharks. Max/med bracket has had its defense level increased to 85. The Zerker bracket has had its attack level increased to 80. Now let's see if we can't find that. Oh, I see eggs here. Oh, that's a paint. That's part of your Easter event, so we'll be going over that here a little bit. Okay, so Last Man Standing gear changes. The starter gear for the Max/Med bracket has been updated with the Avernic treads, Torex plate legs, Creel's top, Airheim's rope top, Airheim's bottom, Staff of the Dead. The following have also been rebalanced a little bit. Bow of Fardhinen, Crystal body legs and helm, Avernic treads, Asmumpton's Fang, Linus 1F, Noxious Halberd, Magus Ring, Altar Ring, Purging Staff, Dragonfire Shield, Twisted Buckler, Missouri Body F, Missouri Chaps F, Torva Plate Legs, Virtus Rope Top and Bottom, Burning Claws, and Arania Boots. Something to keep in mind. Bounty Hunter changes. Bounty Hunter rewards can now also be used in the Dizahar Fight Pit, Player-Owned House Combat Ring, and Clan Hall Combat Ring. While unskulled in Bounty Hunter, you will receive 50% less EP per minute, and your Archaic Emblem will not upgrade past Tier 5. The Vestus Spear Bounty Hunter will now block range damage as well as melee damage when the special attack is used. Players dying in a Bounty Hunter lobby will now be considered as skipping their target. Emir's Arena changes. Mir's Arena has had some adjustments to bring the gear more in line with the current meta. Updated the Pure Zerker and the Max/Med starter sets to be a more update when playing Emir's Arena for the first time. So getting stuck into some fights should be easier than ever. More details are down below as well. Note that these new starter kits for Pure Zerker and Max Med will replace your existing build. Deadeye and Mystic Vigor prayers are now allowed in fights and can be used by players who meet the level requirements. The Zerker account build has been adjusted as follows. The attack level is increased from 75 up from 60. Defense is 50 up from 45. Prayer is 63 up from 55. The Max/Med account build attack, defense, prayer levels are increased to 99. Some items have had their cosmetic overrides that would typically be lost will now refund the cosmetic variant to the player on PvP death. There's a list of cosmetics as well. In PvP arenas, if you have not attacked another player in the last 20 ticks, swapping between weapons will retain any autocast settings that have been set. There was something about Venetis here, but it is actually crossed out, so keep in mind. They deployed a hotfix to revert today's changes to the escape cave's behavior when leaving the wilderness bosses. If you log out inside the boss layer, you'll log back in outside of the escape caves. All other escape caves behavior is as it was prior to today's update. So there was a slight change to that, even after the change. And then Petition will now spawn fewer Hellhounds for larger groups. Venatus will now spawn slightly fewer Spiderlings, and it will now only change phases every other attack if there are more than 10 players rather than just 5. Dizana's quiver and revenant weapons now accurately reflect your risk wealth on items kept on death UI. Revenants and Revenant Maledictus will no longer invalidate iron accounts from obtaining loot if another player has attacked NPCs. The iron account will still only receive a drop if they are the MVP, the player that did the most damage. This change is in line with the recent adjustments to how loot from zombie pirates function, as well as existing wilderness NPCs such as Callisto, Veshin, and Venatus. When crossing a Revenant Cave shortcut, the slight delay when arriving on the other side has been removed. Ranging ammunition no longer spawns on top of the Revenant Cave shortcut pillars. The rear entrance to the Brimhaven dungeon, which is accessed by paying trading sticks, now will no longer annul damage upon use of PvP or Dead Man World. The PGA timer in the PvP world is increased to 16 ticks, 9.6 seconds, up from 8 ticks, which is 4.8. So it's pretty much doubled. Well, actually, it is doubled. To stop bad actors PJing fights when two opponents eat at the same time. In PvP worlds, players can now use cannons in the wilderness. In single combat, you can no longer telegraph food dropped by others in the wilderness. If you've dropped a piece of food in the wilderness, or a monster you're fighting has dropped some food, you're now able to pick up that food if you're in combat with another player. The placement of the Elder Chaos Druids and the Zombie Pirates have been slightly adjusted so that players passing by get teleblocked less frequently. In PvP worlds, the chugging barrel can now be used in the bank located in the Camelot teleport spot. Likewise, you're now able to use the chugging barrel in a safe area in the White Portal in Clan Wars. Outside the designated Castle War worlds, barricades which appear under the player on designated worlds, they will continue to appear on top of other players. On designated Castle War worlds, bandages will heal a maximum of 18 hit points. Added a toggle to disable combat XP at Castle Wars, Soul Wars, to our Fight Pits, Clan Wars. These toggles can be accessed as follows: Castle Wars, right-click Lanthus, Soul Wars, Nomad, Fight Pits, Tizhar Mej Ka, Clan Wars, Purple Portal, White or Purple Portal. And permanent Dead Man trinkets will now break up on death again. Also, the hit points for the Breach NPCs will be restored to significantly lower. Mobile and other client changes added the ability to reduce the UI scale on mobile client. You'll find that the default value is 400% as the mobile client defaults to higher scale. There's also a magnification cap in place, so that the interface never gets too tiny to use. Official client changes to make the UI scaling interface consistent and easier to use across mobile and desktop. They updated it to drop down rather than a slider. They also added a second option input, which allows you to type in valid numbers from the whole range directly. To do this, you need to long press on the scaling drop down if on mobile, or right-click the desktop and select Input option. Desktop users should find that their default setting is retained, as this is saved per client. If you see a change, however, you can still reset the scaling to the default value by pressing and reset interface scaling button. Added separate max foreground FPS and max background FPS settings, allowing the game to run at a lower frame rate while not in focus. In preparation for the upcoming Game World based in Brazil, they added new filtering options to configure the World Switcher menu. They'll keep us updated when they have more information to share on these game worlds. A typo has been corrected in the Thieving Skill Guide. Yami's chathead no longer has blue stripes when he's in the Menagerie. The free-to-play restriction on the chat channels with the total skill below 150 has been made slightly more flexible to accommodate certain specialist builds. PvP Rotas moved to period A, so 539 US, PvP 318 UK Bounty Hunter, 548 Germany High Risk PvP, 577 US Free to Play PvP, 559 UK LMS Competitive, and World Series 90 AUS LMS Competitive and 569 AUS Bounty Hunter have been activated with this Rota. The PvP arena is using the 1 Defense Pure loadout for ranked duels and tournaments this week. So it does look like there's going to be some painting of eggs going on this year for the Halloween, or for the Easter event. So do check it out. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. But that'll be doing it for this video. So thank you guys so much. And until next time, later guys.